right, good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. We're here for the regular session of the Hunt County Commissioners Court. This time I'll call the meeting to, well, let's see what time it is, 10:03. Call the meeting to order and ask Commissioner Martin to lead us in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our flags. Please stand.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gift of life. This is the season that we should enjoy. It's bad that there's so much devastation going on in this world. We pray that you will take over and bring peace to this world. We thank you for everything that you have given us. We ask you to give us patience with each other, understanding and knowledge, and do what's right for the community that you work for. In Christ's name we ask all these things. Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, and indivisible.
Thank you, everyone. This morning we have Commissioner Hutchins, Monroe, Martin present. Commissioner Harrison is absent today. I'm Judge Stovall. I'll be presiding over the meeting today. Commissioners, you got the minutes from October 14th, 2023 regular session. Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners, you got the minutes from October 15th, 2023 special session. I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. This time we'll have public testimony. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and should conduct themselves in a civil manner. The Commissioners Court cannot take action on items not listed on the agenda in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Concerns will be addressed by county staff. They may be placed on a future agenda or addressed by some other course of response. Tommy Neiman, sorry. Didn't look at that right, did I?
Good morning, I'm Tommy Neiman, and my husband and I were invited, and I'm not really sure who invited us, but we were invited to tour Carver Elementary School. I guess it was the school board president and the superintendent, and they had tours of these schools, which they invited the public to come. We live in Quinlan, so we can't do anything about Greenville schools, but we felt like we should bring to your attention the deplorable conditions of these schools, Carver and GMS. And the reason we're talking to you is that we printed out the agenda for today, and it says in your executive session that you're going to talk about Hunt County School Board real properties. And maybe these two things have nothing to do with each other. No. But we just want to express our continued support for the opportunities for excellent quality pre-K grade through grade 12, universally available to the children of Hunt County. And most of the school districts within Hunt County are making sincere efforts to provide these opportunities. However, when we inspected these facilities in Greenville, we found the conditions just absolutely deplorable. I urge all of you to go look at these schools. The Carver Elementary School, they took us down a hallway and showed us this little place in the floor where you could put your finger in a ring and pull this lid up and look at the structure, the metal structure that holds up that building. And they said that a couple of times a year they have to have engineers come out and structurally look at that and make sure it's not going to fall down. That's pretty bad. Okay, and then at the middle school, which looks pretty good from outside, the kids all were well dressed and cute and happy and, you know, typical little kids. But I cried when we left there. I literally cried. There's a place in the gym where there's a hole about this big, perfect to put a gun through and shoot in there. They can't get a window in it. The other windows are so old that they can't get them to close all the way. In the boys' shower, they don't have cold water. The urinals are about this tall, where you would flush it, I guess, or whatever, and it goes all the way down to the floor. And I said, do they not get urine on their feet when they go to the bathroom there? And he said, well, yeah. It smelled horrible. There's no, at the front door, the glass is not secure. It could be shot through or hit with a hammer even, probably. It's old. And, but anyway, we know that you can't do anything about the bonding initiatives. This one just failed. I understand the superintendent is going to retire, probably in disgust. But we're imploring you to use any means available to you to accomplish the essential. You know, this is like security. They're mandated to do these things by the state, but they don't have the money. They're asking people for the money, and some group of people is just against it. I guess they don't want Greenville to progress. But anyway, the schools of Texas are a vital interest of communities, employers, parents, and students who benefit from the education they offer and from participating in extracurricular activities such as the FAA that Bobby was in. And the students at Greenville ISD deserve better than they have. Please do whatever you can to provide these opportunities.
Thank you, ma'am. Just can I clarify that listing on the listing on the executive session has nothing to do with the schools themselves. The history of Texas schools was there was a time where the Hunt County had a Hunt County school superintendent that was a county employee, and that person ran all the rural schools around. And a lot of those rural schools either had land donated to them with a reversionary clause. My family actually had given one to Wolf Creek schools with a reversionary clause that it came back to the owner or heirs or signs if it ever stopped being used as a school. Some of them didn't have these reversionary clauses. They're still entitled as Hunt County School Board, which no longer exist. And we've had some residents that have property next door or around some of these sites and have asked us to deed them the property or sell it to them. And we're still trying to figure out how to do that since the board no longer exists, and there's really nothing clear about how we do that. We're happy to do it, put a little money in the coffers of the county. We just got to figure out legally how to do it. So that's what we're discussing, some property.
Judge, I would like to thank her for coming up and expressing her interest. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Mark White.
Good morning, Your Honor and Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to speak this morning on behalf of the Friends of Merit. A guy nicknamed Ike said that a people that values its privileges above its principles soon loses both. That, of course, was our 34th president, Dwight D. Eisenhower. And although that particular comment was made towards those who are served, I want to twist that around a little bit and talk to you guys about the people that you are serving. You guys are servants. So, you all continually stand on principles in what I believe makes it a privilege for you to serve. You guys have done a fabulous job from all I can tell, attending almost every meeting save one, I believe, since April. And I've been very impressed about how you make decisions, how you function, how you operate. So I just want to say thank you for that. That's greatly appreciated. Regarding our efforts to inform the community of Merit of all the options on how they might protect themselves from being overrun, we continue to hold meetings and discuss options. There's people on both sides of the issue regarding incorporation, and that's great. I'm glad we're having the discussions because we're trying to address all possible issues and answer all questions. The Friends of Merit has 2 more community meetings planned, one this Thursday evening, November the 30th, and another one on Thursday, December the 7th. Again, we're just trying to inform everybody of what's going on around us, what we can do, what does the community want to do. So far, Farmersville has not addressed our concerns or requests regarding de-annexation of the Chaparral Trail from Merritt to Celeste. They just won't respond at this point. It's still an issue, especially for incorporation. So assuming Merritt decides to incorporate, we plan to get all the paperwork completed and turned in by December the 15th. That will allow more than sufficient time, hopefully, to review that documentation and call an election. So once again, thank you for your service. I appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. All right, anybody else wish to speak? Being done, I'll close the public testimony. Old business, action items, number one, consent to enter into a master premier lease agreement with supplier CPI Technologies for the lease of equipment, copiers, and printers. Commissioners, we talked about this at the last meeting, and there were some questions, and Kerry Wright with CPI is here today to answer the questions for us, if there are any, so the public knows. We're trying to, currently our IT department handles all the desktop printers and even some of the larger printers. They're not trained on how to work on them and all, and so we've been approached by CPI, who handles a lot of our copiers in the courthouse and the county facilities, and is wanting to and we're going to enter into a lease with them to do all our copiers, to relieve that load from IT and put it onto them. And we, in the process, we discovered we're spending $80,000 to $100,000 a year on toner cartridges for our desktops, because they're so expensive. You know, if you got one at home, you can buy a new one, but cheaper than you can buy a toner for it. So when one breaks, if one stops working, they just put a new one in, and we keep going, and it's pretty expensive. Under this current lease, they will maintain those and charge us a per-page copy price, which is a fraction of what we're paying for it. So I for one, am excited about entering this, and I know IT is excited about it because they don't have to fool with it anymore. So, Kerry, if you kind of explain to the court kind of how this is just the master lease, and we'll be adding on leases as products get brought into the courthouse.
So first of all, thank you for allowing me to be able to come back again and to be able to present this to you. The Master Lease Program really is a structured program that allows you to be able to manage your documents that are printed out throughout the county. This is something that I do in many places. We do this for the hospital district here, so we do all of the copiers and printers in the hospital district. We also do it for Rockwall County, City of Rockwall, Kaufman County, Sulphur Springs, City of Sulphur Springs, as well as part of Hopkins County. So it is something that we do all the time. But what it allows you to do, it allows you to actually have a manageable cost so that you know exactly what it's going to be. But the other thing that it does, it allows us to be able to take the burden of support as well as the supplies off of your staff, and to be able to put that on our staff, which is already servicing the county right now with the copiers that are in place. So it allows you all to be able to manage that. Right now, as we've gone through the discovery process, we've realized that we're spending a lot of money doing many different things, but we don't have any type of structure right now. And it's putting a lot of work on purchasing, it's putting a lot of work on IT, because that's really not what they do. They do it, but that's not really what they do. This is what we do, and our company has been in business for 55 years. I've been with the company for 30 years. So this is something that we do every day, and this is our specialty. I think there were some questions concerning the master lease, as far as the lease terminology and some of the questions that would arise around that. I think there was a question in there about the lease being cancelable or non-cancelable. All leases are set up as non-cancelable. All of these leases have already been vetted through the state of Texas. All of these purchasing agreements have been vetted through the state of Texas. So, and I stay up to date on this because I've been on our school board for 14 years. So I see this all the time, as well as being on the Christus Hospital board. So I see this all the time. So all of these contracts have already been vetted through the state of Texas. They're either on a DIR contract, which is the Department of Information Resources, Sourcewell contract. In the school business, they're either TIPS or TAPS. So all of the equipment is on one of those contracts that has already gone through Austin, and all of the leases have actually been vetted through them. There are only 4 leasing companies that they will utilize. One is DeLogga London Financial, which is DLL, one's Wells Fargo, one's CIT, and one is National Credit Leasing. So those are the 4 leasing companies that they will use for financing this equipment. All of them basically have the exact same verbiage. But as far as the cancellation of the lease, if for some reason, because we all understand that the county is a taxable or a tax-supported entity, if for some reason tax base does not come in and we can't afford to have that equipment there, there's a non-appropriation clause and document that goes along with the lease that we're able to execute at that point that says we can't do this anymore. The only thing that happens at that point is once that is executed, that machine will come out, or that area will come out. We'll no longer have that lease there. The only thing that the county cannot do for 1 calendar year, which is that budget year, is to put another machine there. And then from there, the next year, if you decide you want to put a machine back, you can do that. So that's the way the non-appropriation clause works. So first of all, I want to see if there are any other questions about the cancellation of the non-appropriation.
No, sir, there's not. In fact, our attorney did answer my questions and referenced some other aspects, and I believe it's been corrected also.
Okay, all right.
Anybody else?
And then I think there was a question concerning the indemnity clause. So with the indemnity clause, that particular clause basically states that the financing institution would be held harmless if something happened with the equipment. So they're basically financing the equipment. They're not supplying the equipment. CPI supplies the equipment. So if there's a problem with the equipment, CPI is the one who takes care of that. However, in all of our agreements that we've done, I know for the last 20 years, the word indemnity is not there, but the verbiage is there that says the same thing, that you will hold harmless CPI if someone slams the dock feeder down on their hand and gets hurt, breaks their hand, or what. That verbiage is still there. Now, with the leasing companies, we can remove the word indemnity, but they would want a resolution that says that you will hold them harmless as a financial institution for any loss that would happen. So that is the only thing that would happen with indemnity. And I think those were the 2 questions that were asked. Were there any others?
Daniel, we all good?
Yeah. So the indemnification section, there's a difference between indemnification and hold harmless. One is proactive, one's reactive. I think what Carrie is saying is that those are pretty, those contracts, they don't allow changes at the, for that contract, and it's the same in all those contracts. It's definitely not legal for a county to indemnify in Texas, but the law writes that out of the contract. And so every single day, local governments in Texas still sign contracts that include that indemnification language. It's not legal, but it's also not punishable. The only punishment basically comes from the people who try to rely on it later, because governments can't do that, and governments who sign a contract with that, then that contract section is excised by the court and removed as if it was never there. And so that's the situation you're in. We've, I think in the past 17 or 18 years that I've been doing this with the county, we've had probably 3 or 4 groups that didn't want to change it and add the language that I always try to add in to the extent allowed by state law. And so we did it anyway, with the knowledge that that's what the law says, is that because it's constitutionally not legal, it's also unenforceable. So it's, I mean, on the scale of how big of a deal that is, that's a really small one, especially since all we're really talking about is printers. I mean, printers don't get broken that often. And when they do, the other contract terms apply. I mean, the long and short of it is, if a Hunt County employee does something negligently and breaks a printer, the county's going to have to pay for it, whether that language is in there or not.
Okay. All right, everybody all right? No other questions? Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 2 under old business, nominees for Hunt County Appraisal District Board of Directors for a one-year term in 2024. Commissioners, as you all are aware of, the legislature this past session changed the way the Appraisal District Board of Directors is nominated. In the past, all the entities had the votes to vote on the Board of Directors. And the Board of Directors, their only authority is to hire and fire a chief appraiser and approve the budget. That's all they do. The public thinks, some people in the public think the board can direct them to lower appraised values or something. They can't do that. They have no authority over that. All they do, all these the Board of Directors do is oversee that the appraisal chief is doing his job, and then they approve a budget. And so in the past, we've always done it. This coming year, there will be an election in May, and the public will elect 3 people that choose to run for the office in the May elections for local entities, and they will serve on the appraisal board for, I think, 1 year, Daniel, is that right? Everything's 1 year, and then the following year, there'll be a new vote and a new vote by the entities. And so we're being asked to do that now. In a month or so ago, we nominated, along with other entities in the county, 7 people, and which were all on the current board. One, Mitch Moore, that's on the board, has said he does not want to serve again. The rest of them are there, and it'd be my recommendation that we split our votes, kind of a third across the way, with Tyson Cox and Jim Bob Grove and Mike Taylor. Jim Bob is new on the board. He's from Commerce. He works out at L3. The Commerce area had always appointed, had the votes to always appoint one member to that board, and their representative passed away last year, and Jim Bob took the person's place, and so he's relatively new on it. Tyson Cox is one of our original nominees from this court, and Mike Taylor, of course, is our auditor, and we like for somebody that represents us to be on that board. So the way I calculated, we'd give 356 votes to Tyson Cox, 357 to Jim Bob Grove, and 357 to Mike Taylor. And I'll make that a motion.
Your Honor, I'll make that motion.
All right, well, I'll second that motion. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. New business. Commissioners, got the consent calendar in front of you. We're going to pull items 3 through 12 for discussion. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent calendars, items 1 and 2. Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners, the ones we're pulling, we need a little cleanup on those, so it's all be the same. We'll be voting on the 3 through 12, and I'll read the request for McKee Utilities to cross County Road 1025 under item 3, 1026 under item 4, 1042 and item 3, 1043 under item 6, 1088 under item 7, 1089 under item 8, 1098 under item 9, 1100 under item 10, 1101 under item 11, and 1132 under item 12. And I'd entertain a motion for that with adding usual and usual stipulations to that motion.
Your Honor, I'll make that motion using the term usual stipulations rather than under normal stipulations. Yes.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. I hope Vicky's happy. All right. Action items, approval of accounts payable.
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of line item transfers.
Make a motion, we approve line item transfers. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of budget amendments.
Make a motion, we approve budget amendment.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of payroll and personnel.
Make a motion, we approve payroll and personnel. Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 1, the quarterly presentation, inter-presentation discussing current AgriLife events and educational programs. Mary Shockley and David Drake, which one wants to go first? Mary? Or you can do it all, whichever the case may be.
Thank you. Thank you.
What made me nervous is it seems like that's the mayor and it's got your name on it.
Okay.
It made me very nervous to open it, so I thought I'd present it to you. If it belongs to us, I'll take it, but,
Oh, I know what it probably is.
okay, there was too many other names on there for me to feel comfortable.
Let me see if it's the right thing.
Let's see what's in there.
Yeah, you want this.
I do.
Yeah. That's a donation for y'all's event. My wife got that for you.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your support of AgriLife Extension. As y'all know, I'm the Family and Community Health Agent, so I just wanted to give you a fall quarterly update of what I've been up to. This is kind of from September until now. In mid-October, I did a home food preservation workshop there at the Extension office, and I utilized our state nutritionalist and specialist, Dr. Anding, and we came and we jammed peach jam. There was 12 community members there. They paid to come, learn how to water bath can. Also on the home food preservation front, I recently took a training with the state specialist on pressure canning. And so in the spring, I'll be offering that service, which has come into my office as a big need for the community, believe it or not, with the homestead families growing and inflation of our foods and things. It's home food preservation has become quite of a necessity, actually. The second thing on here, I had 2 opportunities to go to the state fair and represent Hunt County. The first one was as a state food challenge judge, which is a 4-H contest. And there was over 85 teams there, and it's kind of like the Master Chop Challenge, if you will, that you've seen on TV, and there are children from 3rd grade all the way to seniors in high school. So I got to go and help judge that contest, and then I also got to be in the Go Texan Pavilion and do a live food demonstration, which was cool. They hooked me up with the mic. I felt very famous, if you don't mind. And I spotlighted beef. So I made some cool Asian beef tacos there. And so that's what I got going on there. The first little session was underattended, but once that steak hit the grill, there was about 150 people there. So I was excited to represent Hunt County in that manner. Also, I've been focusing a lot this fall on our senior citizen population. I've been working in close collaboration with Trina and the Scripps Center. As you probably know through her, they've got 3 congregate locations, the newest being in Wolf City. But I have presented programs to the Greenville and Commerce site. We're just wrapping up tomorrow the Walk and Talk series, which might sound kind of odd with the walking element. However, I will say I gave everybody a pedometer at the beginning of the program, and on average, they purposefully walked over a mile a week, each one of them. And so that's pretty cool. I'll have the big numbers when they turn in their logs, but they've been walking, and then we talk about the nutritional contents, and we spotlight a fruit or vegetable. So we talked about asparagus and blueberries and lemons and limes. I get to give them a sample, which they love, and answer their questions agriculturally related to the food that we're talking about. My Healthy Hunt County Committee, actually it was my TIA ladies, which is the Texas Education Extension Association. They helped me collect over 180 ounces of spices to be donated to the Meals on Wheels recipients for their Thanksgiving meal. So they're just unopened spices. If you've ever been down on your luck, spices can be quite a luxury at times, and so that was pretty successful this year. There's odds and end pictures on the back there. We did a car fit event. Again, like I said, I've been focusing really on our seniors of Hunt County this fall. We did a car fit event where there was a small portion of classroom time that they learned how to operate their vehicle safely. I know that sounds kind of odd, and we pray to God that they're doing that, but you'd be surprised how many of them don't know how to adjust their mirrors or how to get in properly. And so we gave wedges and all sorts of extension kebabbers for their seatbelts. And then the second day, they were able to drive through at the Civic Center and meet with us as technicians to fit them in their vehicle with their mirrors and stuff. So that was pretty cool. Other than that, I've been doing promotional booths. I did a career recruitment booth with Bowles ISD, and then I was there at the Bob Wills Festival promoting pecans and local production of that. I was at the library doing pumpkin education for the Halloween and a little physical activity. So I've been doing a bunch of odds and ends. Anyhow, again, I'm grateful for your support. Thank you for the building. Thank you for the budget. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve Hunt County. I'll let David.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget your money. Thank you.
David, how you doing?
Okay, so I'm David Drake. I served multiple counties. My academic home is actually Department of Entomology in College Station, but I have the privilege of being stationed here at Texas A&M Commerce. I live in Greenville, so enjoy being Hunt County. I wanted to focus a little bit on our wheat program today. You know, wheat in the county, of course, it's primarily grown for grain, but there is a lot of grazing. If we look at last year, our acres were down a little bit, but we had about 8,000 acres of wheat for grain, about 2,000 for grazing. There's probably more for grazing, it just doesn't get reported to Farm Service Agency. And so those are the numbers we have. If we look at the past year, past couple of years, we had a problem with Hessian fly, which is a pest of wheat that can really restrict its growth, both for grain and for grazing. So that contributed to the lower acres. But in response to that, we did 15 wheat production trials. They're listed there. I won't go through them. And they're in multiple counties because I serve multiple counties, but a lot of those were here in Hunt County. We did not get any planted at our Greenville Research Farm site because it was a wet fall. And that actually reduced our wheat acres in this area. We did hold 4 field days around this part of the state. In terms of funding, we got a grant from the Texas wheat producers for $10,000. We got industry support from ag industry for research trials, about $8,000. I had two PhD graduate students working on wheat this year. One just finished her PhD, and she's now teaching at Grayson College. And then I picked up another graduate student. If we look at the producer surveys that come to our meetings, over on the side, they tell us about what the information is worth per acre. And that's generally averages $20 to $27 per acre. So if we multiplied their farm acres and what the value was, our program was worth about $400,000. So that's on the front of here, the formatting cut it off. So that's just a look at the wheat program. I do work with the producers on all the other crops, and we'll come back at another time and review those. So thank you for the opportunity to present.
I've got a question. The research center used to be in Richardson. Is all the ag-related part moved out to Commerce now? And are y'all still doing research on ag products in Richardson or Plano, whatever the site is?
So the Redder farm is gone. There still is the Dallas Center on Coit Road. They focus on turf and water and more of urban work. That was the rationale for the purchase of the Greenville farm.
Okay.
Moving that ag research to Greenville.
All that's being done here now, that used to be done. That's great, okay.
I want to tell you something, y'all are busy December the 7th, aren't you? You've got it going on over here, they have it over in, where is it, Mount Pleasant? Y'all have a meeting, we have a meeting over in Mount Pleasant as far as ag, but also your awards night is on December the 7th. But
Yep.
they're staying busy, George.
Yes, and thank you, Philip, for reminding me of our Ag Tech Conference, which is next week. So that's where our producers come and we share our research and they get their CEUs. And I know it's the same day as your commission conference in Mount Pleasant.
Well, we appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Entertain a motion to approve these presentations.
So move.
And motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 2, Commissioners Court meeting modification date during the holiday season. Commissioners, our second meeting in December is December 26th, which is the day, of course, after Christmas, which is a county holiday. So what's the pleasure? We want to try to have it later in that week, or just wait and cancel it and call a special meeting if we need one late December? Can we cancel one like that, Daniel? Okay. Okay, can y'all give us a date that would help y'all then? If we had it the week before, would that be more beneficial? '25th and 26th, isn't it? We're off Monday, Tuesday. That wouldn't give you but a few days that week after, if we met on Friday, whatever, that'd be the 30th, I guess.
The
29th.
1st.
What makes y'all's life easier, the week before Christmas, or?
We just need to send out checks to pay bills is all, so we just need to know a date. It doesn't matter what date, if we're off them 2 days, I mean, you can have it on the 27th, the 28th, 29th.
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
okay, all right, well, we don't want to bother, we didn't want to conflict with y'all, so. What do y'all think?
What day would benefit?
That doesn't matter to me.
Wednesday, 27th.
That's fine with me. Is that all right with you, Philip, 27th?
When is that?
Wednesday, the 27th?
That'll be good for me.
Mark's okay? We'll hope it's all right with Steve too then. All right, so, I'll entertain a motion to approve moving our December 26th, regular scheduled meeting to Wednesday, December 27th.
Yes, sir.
At 10 a.m.
I so moved.
In this room, yep.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. All opposed, motion carries. Jess, can you get Brandon to put that on our website or something? Put it out so that people can see it. All right, action item number 3. Public hearing and discussion, consider approval and execution of 2 leases for space on 2 separate SBA communication towers in or near the cities of Commerce, Texas, and Celeste, Texas, for the installation and operation of public safety radio equipment that will be part of the new Hunt County P25 public safety radio system. Commissioners, when we were in this project of getting this going, to get the coverage in school coverage up north, we had to go to a tower in the north side, which is a Celeste tower, and we had hoped to be on A&M's either radio tower or a facility of theirs, and those weren't going to work out as good as we needed them to, so we found a taller tower and a better tower that's right beside all of it, and that's what these are about, and why we're needing to approve these leases so we can move forward with our radio project. Daniel?
Yeah, and these are the same as the other contracts that we've signed for other locations. This is the 2 for Commerce and Celeste. Our contractor, Trot Communications, went through these and confirmed that they meet all the required industry standards. They also negotiated them to start payments after construction, the month after, as opposed to starting right now. Should save the county a few $1,000s. There's no legal issues with these contracts, and we do need them for the implementation of our P25 system.
Do we need to put a date in the motion of when it is, or state anything, or just approve the lease?
No, just approve them, and everything works forward from the language that's already in there.
Okay. Any questions? Entertain a motion for approval?
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Action item number 4, the upgrade of approximately 509 feet of County Road 3526 from rock to oil sand in Precinct 3. Money is in escrow.
Your Honor, I'll make a motion, we allow this work to be done.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Action item number 5, the final, it should have been plans, not plat, Commissioners. It should have been the final plans for Chaparral RV Park and Stables in Precinct 1. Brian?
This is an RV park that is proposed up in the Merritt area. They have met all the RV park and short-term rental requirements, as well as all of the health department requirements. So it's a basic RV park that meets all the regulations.
Do you know if they've got permission on that cul-de-sac going into that easement, waterline easement?
Yes, they can't have any improvements. They had to move the dumpster, and I believe they had to move a spot out of it, but the edge of the cul-de-sac is okay.
The pavement itself is okay? Yes. Okay. All right. Any other questions, Commissioners?
May I ask you this?
Sure.
Those are plans, will they have to come back and get a plat, or is this actually a plat?
This
I
is
don't
not
know.
a plat. RV parks and short-term rental communities, mobile home parks and such are not required to be platted. Okay. They are required to have approved plans for drainage and sewer, septic, things like that. But
Road, the entryway, they have to have 25-foot clear span through the road so emergency vehicles can get in and out. They can't park in that 25-foot strip, and they have to have 2 parking spots on site.
Two off-street parking spots per unit. And there's quite a few other things. Those are the details. So,
We're trying to make them as safe as we can for the public. That's about all the authority the state gives us is,
right.
is health and public safety on these, so.
Thank you.
Hey, just a second. You got another comment, Philip?
Pardon?
Were you going to ask a question?
No, that was it.
Okay.
I just wanted to find out.
Ms. White, come to the mic, please.
I'm just interested in getting a copy of those plans, and how do I go about it?
Right there. All right, any other questions? Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved?
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 6, the final plat for I-30 Greenville Utility Services LLC addition.
Simple one-lot plat, meets all the requirements, and has all the road frontage. It's actually on I-30, so there's no county road dedication or county right-of-way to be improved.
Any questions? Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Excuse me. Action item 7, final plat of Garrett Estates in Precinct 4.
3 large tracts, almost 10 acres each, came in just under 10, so they got the privilege of platting. Everything's in place and everything's up to county requirement and spec.
Any questions? Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 8, the approval of contract proposal from MTG Stovall Engineers and Surveyors for survey of county real property located at 201 I-30 Greenville, Hunt County, Texas, PID number 37310 and 207283. Daniel?
This is just a contract for the surveying work that needs to be done for the Mary Puddin Hill property that was purchased a few months ago.
Well, it's really topo engineering work now. We paid them to do the survey work when we purchased it, and when they were there, I told them that we were going to be doing some of these other things, so they did pick up some additional data while they were there. But architects and engineers need to know how to make sure all the utilities are there, at what elevations and what the lay of the land is, so they're doing a topographic survey of it so we can continue to plan our site at Puddin Hill. I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Hang on just a second, let me correct that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To make sure, we're paying for this out of the ARPA funds, is that correct, what we've been doing? Yeah, all of the Puddin Hills are coming out, so approval of the contract and to be paid for out of the reimbursement funds of the ARPA account.
I agree. I so moved that is how it is budgeted out, the ARPA funds in reference to.
All right, got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 9, ratification of contract for assessment and collection services between Hunt County Tax Assessor, Collector, and local governments in Hunt County.
All right, I talked with Mr. Weiniger a few weeks ago about some changes that need to be made to at least one contract that his office, the county through his office has with one of the local governments. I started looking back at the contracts themselves and realized that the history of this is that about a decade ago, this Commissioners Court approved a contract that I drafted for Mr. Weiniger's office to use to enter into contracts for collection and assessment services for every government in the county. What should have happened after that was that every time a new one was entered into, it should have come back before the court so that it became part of the county's agreement. The Commissioners Court needs to sign off on those contracts. But that didn't happen. Only 3 of them did. So there's at least 22. I sent you an email this morning. All the contracts are the same. It's already been approved by the county, but the individual contracts weren't approved by the county one at a time. And so right now we have 22 contracts that have been approved in form, but not approved with the final signatures. And to get those into the county clerk's records, those need to be ratified. And so what's on the agenda today is just ratifying those contracts. There's no issues with the contracts. Everything's working the right way. There's one government that we're going to have to potentially make some changes on because that government hasn't paid for a couple of years of these services. But for right now, before we do that, these just need to be ratified so that they can go in the clerk's records for government document purposes, and so that they are, so that the county complies with the laws on running all contracts through the Commissioner's Court.
All right,
I can answer any questions that you might have.
any questions?
One question, the company correction, the entity, taxing entity that hasn't paid, have they been contacted in reference to this ratification?
We can talk about that in executive session.
Good enough, thank you.
Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
One other thing, on action item 3, we should have had a public hearing for that, and I don't think that there was a public hearing open.
Oh, sure was, wasn't it?
And so we need to have that public hearing, and then if there's a motion to change anybody's vote because of what you hear in the public hearing, then you can do that. Otherwise, you can
Just
open and
public
close.
hearing, and if there's no comments, then we're done? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but
Or do we
after
need-
the end of the public hearing, you can provide an opportunity for anybody, if there's a commissioner that wants to make a motion to change their vote, then they can do that. If not, then that'll be the end of
okay.
that.
All right, action item number 3, after a public hearing, discussion, consider approval and execution of 2 leases for space on 2 separate SBA communications towers in or near the cities of Commerce, Texas, and Celeste, Texas, for the installation and operation of public safety radio equipment that will be part of the new Hunt County P25 public safety radio system. At this time, I'll open it to public hearings. Anybody here wish to speak in regards to these leases and the radio system? Is anybody online? No, there's not. All right. Being no comments, I'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, anybody wish to change their vote from the prior vote?
Oh, sir.
Being none, action item 3 is approved. Anything else before the court today, Daniel? No. Commissioner, any other comments? Not, I'll entertain a motion to go in executive session under items 1 through 4.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We're in executive session at 10:56. Thank y'all. Kerry, thank you for coming, sir. back up.
Sorry, Judge, I put it down. Forgot about that. We are live again.
All right, we're back in regular session. It
Thank
is 11:58. Is there anything else before the court this morning? Being nothing, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Thank you.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. We're adjourned at 11:58.